How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Tressa's Collectibles channel, and we're going to be bringing you guys another box opening today. I'm Randall, aka Shizukats, and normally I do these non-premium booster box openings alone, but after back-to-back days of BCS and some commentary recording, my voice is getting a little bit scratchy, so I'm going to be joined today by...
Here is Mike, the backup, the support for Randall today on our box opening. And also, I am the one here that has watched these two movies, so I can provide some color commentary on the actual contents of the show and the series overall, while Randall is the Rascal expert here in terms of the gameplay, so he can offer perspective on that.
Yeah, I'm a fake Bunny Girl fan. I looked at the two, cover arts, and I didn't see any normal Mai. So I was just like Resident Sleeper. I'll watch these later.
Yeah.
I am gonna watch these eventually, but just so far I have not actually gone into watching these two movies. But the show and the movie I have definitely watched, and I do really enjoy both of those.
We do really love Mai.
Yeah. All right. So since you have watched these movies, so what is going on here with these two films?
All right. So the two films are a direct sequel to the Dreaming Girl movie, which is a sequel of season 1. So timeline wise, it goes Bunny Girl Senpai the series, and then goes into Dreaming Girl, and then Sister Venturing Out, and then Knapsack Kid. For those of us overseas, we usually got to see them as a double feature, but the story is kind of just one continuous one, so it doesn't really feel like anything was out of the ordinary. Sister Venturing Out follows the story of Kaede after her original personality came back, and how she struggles to readjust to the world, and also her struggles with fulfilling her own dreams compared to those dreams from the other Kaede. So this movie really featured a lot of her personal struggles, what she wanted to do in her life, and how she wanted to move forward. Knapsack Kid is actually a story mainly about Sakuta. Throughout all of the previous Rascal arcs, for the most part, they've generically kind of followed one female protagonist and then Sakuta helping them with their problems. This arc mainly focuses on Sakuta himself, in the context of now that Kaede is healthy again, Sakuta's parents, more specifically their mom, was really unhealthy and unwell, kind of as a result of all the drama around Kaede and her condition. But now that Kaede is kind of getting back to normal, and Sakuta's mom has been unhospitalized, Sakuta's mom and dad kind of want to start living together as a family again. Sakuta starts having scars again, and it turns out that he was having a lot of issues with kind of his role in the family and how he felt about his mother in particular. So that movie mainly explores actually Sakuta himself and his own emotions, and Knapsack Kid is kind of the movie doesn't really explicitly say, and obviously we'll see in the set that none of the child Mai cards actually say Mai, they all say just Knapsack Kid. Right. So it's kind of ambiguous, but obviously we know that, and Sakuta perceives this girl in his dreams to be a childhood version of Mai. So this movie is all about sorting out Sakuta's own feelings, whereas Sister Venturing Out is about sorting out Kaede's feelings. So yeah, they're both really good movies.
And the scars originally were a result of the Shoko arc, right? That was the heart thing.
And then that was because of the heart thing that we figured out in Dreaming Girl. And then this turns out it was a scar, kind of like an umbilical cord.
Umbilical cord.
Umbilical cord, yeah.
Okay.
But basically him and his mom's stuff.
Okay. Okay. So as far as the products, we're going to be doing our usual 2 boxes. There are some pretty unique rarities, or one unique rarity in particular in the set. So we do have our usual SPs and overframe rare. Well, I guess the overframe rare not usual, right?
It's not unordinary, but this is one of those sets where they decided to make a new arbitrarily difficult to pull high rarity. In this set, we have the ABRs, or Aobuto rares, and those are cards that are a lot more difficult to pull than the regular SPs. In a case of Rascal Volume 3, we do expect 3 big hits, the 3 SPs. We are actually having character signatures or Seiyu signatures back for this set, whereas for Volume 2, that set did not have any signatures. This set does get the signatures back, so all the main heroines, the Kaede, Koga, Futaba, Shoko,
Not my.
Nodoka.
Not my, unfortunately.
They all get their voice actress signatures back, and those are all SPs. And then there are 4 ABRs. The 4 ABRs are Kaede, 2 different Mais, and then the Knapsack Kid. Now, something that was very interesting about this set is that we have all the the voice actress signatures except for specifically Mai. What's interesting about this is that the Knapsack Kid is also voiced by Asami Seto, who is the person that voices Mai. And she does have a signature in the form of the ABR Knapsack Kid. So the signature that we're missing is specifically only for Asami Seto when she voices Mai. So the 2 Mai ABRs in this set have been modified from the original Japanese version to be one of those that is kind of like a stylized font. You still have like a nice
rainbow
message,
rainbow print.
Yeah, like a rainbow print message, and then instead of just like the voice actress's sign, you just have like her name printed in Japanese kanji. It still looks really good, but it's definitely different from the original Japanese without the voice actress signature. So that's going on here. One case you do expect 3 SPs. If we pull an ABR, that does replace the slot of an SP, so it's either 3 SPs or 2 SPs and 1 ABR. And we also expect 4 OFRs as well, OFR being just the overframe rare. That just looks really nice. Very fortunately for us, the overframes, the ABRs, the cards on the ABRs can also come overframe. This is really important because there are some really good cards that come in that ABR/OFR rarity. So for those of us that still want to have really shiny cards in our deck, we don't have to find the ABRs and pay thousands of dollars for them. We can just use the OFRs instead.
Yeah. All right. So with that being said, let's get right into our first box. And in terms of double R ratio per box, we're looking at like what the usual 3 or 4.
Yeah, the usual 3 to 4. This is just basically the norm now
for the 12 pack format.
For the 12 pack per box, 24 box per case format. 3 to 4.
Might as well open this one right now as well.
And also just the norm. I think, when was the last time we had a set in which not every single card came foil? We basically always have every card come foil nowadays, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, like usual, we do expect 3 foils per box, and every card can come foil. And the new format, our box topper is a first second. So here we have this really gorgeous going first of the art of the level 3 Mai, where she is holding her graduation paper.
I don't remember what it's called. Like basically like their like diploma.
Diploma, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We don't need this box. All right, let's get started. Really excited to talk about some of these cards because there's some really strong cards in this set. All right, let's get started. So there are a lot of new memory cards in this set. Previously, we didn't really see any super huge payoffs for having a lot of memory. It was stuff just kind of like gain some additional power here and there, or maybe like a 2/1 back row mostly, right?
Yeah.
And then like in the first set, there were cards that like sent Mais to memory and then like brought them back out and things like that. But there wasn't any like really huge colossal payoff, and that is something that we will be seeing in this set.
Alright, in the first 2 sets, it kind of just seemed like it was just more for flavor than anything, just for Mai's character. But in this set,
it kind of still is because they're all pretty much all my cards still.
It is, but now there's a payoff.
Yeah. And then in the Dreaming Girl movie, they kind of expanded on Shoko's theme of like experience, and they kind of played on the contrast between those 2 themes, which I thought was really flavorful. Okay, here we have Watame but Albuta version.
That card is actually pretty good, I think.
Yeah, if your opponent has a level 3 or higher on their board, you can early play this, and then on play, it's like Watame, where you reveal top, and then if the top card is a traded character, you can choose one of your opponent's front row characters, level 3 or lower, and you can mess with it. In Watame's case, it sends it to the bottom of the deck. In this card's case, you send it to the top of their deck.
Yeah, you mill the top card of the deck, and then you put this on the top.
Yeah.
Which is like...
Wait, no, you don't even... Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah.
Which is like better than Watame. This is like probably the best form of like hard removal there is.
Yeah, if you like mill them a climax, they're just so sad.
Dude, like it's like the double whammy.
Yeah, the biggest problem with this card though is that it's green. Yeah. Green is a little bit hard to play around in the set. And we do have an upcoming deck on the channel that will include a bit of green. It doesn't actually play this card, mostly because I tried it in the deck and it just kind of didn't flow with like what I was like trying to do.
Plan, right?
Yeah, even though it's such a good like standalone
but
card.
It's definitely there.
Oh, no, here's a really good... This is literally, in my opinion, I think this is one of the cards in all of Bunny Girl that I think is like a reason to run green, even more so than this card.
Yeah.
So this is a double Clock Bomb card. When you play this, you choose 2 of your characters on stage. It can be itself or like 2 completely different characters. And they get anti-change Clock Bomb. And if you use this against the right deck, this just can completely cripple your opponent. And just... For one stock, you just like completely screw them over.
This is the degree of cards they have to print for hard removal nowadays. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and so in the JP side, after we got like the first restriction list where it was Sakuta got restricted and the deck kind of went towards green, this was definitely a card that I was looking to play in my decks. And pretty much any deck that I run a little bit of green, maybe like in the level 0 line, this is like a really good card to look at. Alright, so here's our first Knapsack Kid card. So this one is part of a 2-piece combo for level 3. So we'll probably come back to this one later.
Yeah, I'll talk about that. Yeah. I'll talk about Knapsack Kid.
And here we have the stock swap-ish effect. This is a stock shuffle.
Stock shuffle.
Yeah. And then it's also a on-play free summon. So in a sense, this card just has like on-play stock swap into deck for free, and you save the 2 stock and then you put it into like playing another character in a sense, and then you give that summoned character plus 2k. So if you are looking for a stock shuffle effect in your deck, you can definitely run this card. The more popular deck, which is the one with the level 3 Mai, it doesn't really care about the stock shuffle because it's just going to be milling through the opponent's deck.
Exactly.
So
it's kind of like a card that you would normally put in any traditional level 3 line if you are running red, but just because of the nature of how Mai deals damage, this card doesn't really see play.
Right. And like in decks that aren't the level 3 Mai, you can definitely still run this card.
Yep.
Okay, level 1 Mai. This is one that definitely sees consistent play in like the best deck, which is so she's on play, gain 3k, and then if you do not have a red card in memory yet, you can send a copy of the Ricky from your waiting room to memory. So if you don't end up actually seeing your Ricky in your actual like hand and being able to play it and stuff, and it just winds up in waiting room, this is one way that you can get it there without having to like actively search out a Ricky just to put it on the board and then like crash it in and then send it to memory. Yeah. And additionally, this card also has Twin Drive, which is also it's always really good, just the ability to pay out climaxes on the fly. This level 3 Mai is climax combo, but it's a pretty weird one. It basically, she gives herself like triple, when she's attacked, you like triple surveil. So it's like, if you've ever played against Luna Hololive, she surveils once when she gets attacked. This surveils 3 times when she gets attacked.
So look at the top card and then either leave with it or mill it.
Yeah, and the problem with this card is that it just requires too many bad pieces, to be completely honest. Like you have to play this like this 2-1 Sakuta, and like there's some like other...
There's an event.
There's an event.
2-0 event.
And the event is like, you have to go like -3 to like... yeah, IDK, man. Like it's very weird. In theory, you're supposed to try to bring this card out at 2 and then use those triple surveils to just not take damage, and then try to loop the combo by using all the copies of the climax that you're getting with this card's on-play ability, because she salvages the climax on play. But in practice, it's just kind of too janky.
Yeah, you just look at the amount of deck slots it takes, how much effort you need to set up the setup, and then the payoff.
The opportunity cost is just too high.
Yeah.
Okay, pack number 2. Okay, so this is a card of all time. So we're gonna come back to this one though. There's a card that goes with this. Okay. Oh, this is one of my favorite utility cards of the set. So this is you actually just played this card.
I know. I read this card for the first time today when I was studying the set, and I was like, "Oh, this is a
this
rare,
is-
and look, here's Rico."
This is Chisato. So Mike just played Chisato level 0 in his Lico Rico deck at BCS Pasadena, and this is the exact same card. So it's on play. You can discard a traded character to draw a card, and then you can also discard a climax in order to salvage any character. So just very solid profile, 2 very nice utility effects on the same card.
Yeah, this is the first of, I think one of the best things about this set is that there is just the quality of life at level 0 is just exponentially higher in terms of just the kind of profiles that we kind of want if we are looking for just good things, climax outs, mill options, clock options, so everything's here.
A deck climax swap on a Fukujiro.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next card is the 1/1 Knapsack Kid. So this one's an anti-change bomb that also bottom decks herself. So is there like a flavor reason why she bottom decks herself at the same time?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so. Oh, I mean there has to be, but I just can't really think of the connection here. What I think is really cool about this card is the first effect. Where
You don't even need it in hand.
you can just pay 1 and discard 1 card, and then she just summons herself from her waiting room or from the waiting room. So it's really nice because this just won't be something that you'll need to sculpt.
Right.
If your opponent does end up going into their own early play and you have this in waiting room, you can just be like, okay, well, any one of my cards in hand just becomes the 1/1 as long as you have this Knapsack Kid in the waiting room. So.
Yeah. And then if you summon her from waiting room, you don't even need blue. So in theory, you could play this in a deck that just has no blue, and you just summon it from waiting room, and it's like, ha, surprise. So yeah, pretty good card. Kaede bounce back for standby. In our next rare, so we have the level 0 Knapsack Kid. So this is the same like coin flip profile as like Iroha from Hololive, where you mill 2 and look for a level 2 or higher, and then she can bounce back to hand if you mill 2 or higher. And then there is a level 3 Knapsack Kid, which goes with this one right here. That it has a very big discard cost.
It's all one package.
Yeah, so that level 3 requires like discard 5, right?
Discard 5 on play heal.
And this card's first effect says that when you're paying for the cost of that climax combo, she can treat herself as 2 cards. So you can lower it to at most 3 cards if you discard 2 copies of this.
Which is still a lot, but it's less than
It's
5.
a lot less than it was before.
Less than 5.
We have a nice on-play level down here. Just a nice shrinky dinky. Oh, here we go. All right, so this is are you guys familiar with cats? This is Bunny Girl's cats. So this 1/0 says on play you can discard an adolescence character to search your deck for 2/1 Mai combo, which is an early play if you have 4 more characters already on board. And then the Mai's other effect is if you have 2 or more other adolescence characters, which you should if you have a full board in order to early play this, then she gets 3k and all copies of this Mai get +1k +1 soul. So this goes to 5k, this goes to 8k 2 soul if you have 1 copy of this. And a deck that has seen very fringe play, but like it pops up here and there in Japan, is a deck that aims to play double 1/0, double 2/1 at level 1, and the way you fulfill early play condition for both of the 2/1s is you use like the helmet to be one of the 4 more on board, and then you sack the helmet to get like another card and then play the second 2/1. And what this results in is a board with 2 copies of the Mai combo that are both 9k 3 soul, and then you play climax, and then they become 10k 4 soul. And the climax combo is when you play the climax and she's in front row, you give herself plus 1 other character the ability where when their damage gets canceled, you can salvage 1 and stock 1 from waiting room. So if a 4 gets canceled, let's assume you have 2 copies and you give the effects to each other. If either one of these cancels, you're clean stocking 2, salvaging 2. And then on top of that, you're going to have gigantic bodies on your opponent's board that hopefully they can't clear. And then you could just try to punch your opponent's face in on the following turn, maybe even get another turn of combo. And it's very high roll, but has the potential to be quite destructive.
Yeah. Or they take 8, and then you have no hand, and then they kill your board, and you're like, oh.
That's the risk you take when you play this
Correct,
deck, to be completely honest, yeah. But it's definitely very interesting. Oh, yeah, also this 1/0 has a soul trigger.
Yep.
Because of course it does.
Yeah, this might just wants violence.
I mean, it means you can pick it off choice trigger as well,
yeah.
which is also very important. Oh, we have our first SR. So this is the 2/0 event that goes with the 3/2 Mai. So this one you can either give 2 of your characters power, which is just a straight -1, and is not really what you're looking for. But the other effect is You can pay 1, sack a character on stage, and you put a 2/1. It's a 2/1, right? I think it's a 2/1.
I think so.
Or it's, no, it's a level 0. It's a level 0, right?
Is it? I haven't.
I think it's a level 0 that bonds to this. And you put that card from stage to memory, so you're already losing the event and the character you sack and the Sakuta that you sent to memory. So you're down 3 cards. You choose this from waiting room and you put it on stage in any position, give it hexproof, and then you salvage the climax off of this. So you went down 3 cards, you got a Mai, which got a climax.
Yeah.
So you're down a card, and it just requires like too many pieces, to be completely honest. As we said, with like not enough payoff. So it's
if anything, I think like the payoff is the biggest part. I think if the effect was good enough, I think this is definitely playable. And going -1 is not that big of a deal if the card is actually good.
Yeah, like maybe if it was, instead of just being like this defensive combo, if it just like got you a bunch of cards back.
Yeah, because like generally speaking, that would be the reason why things like Kanata and adjacent cards are useful. Is because like you lose a bunch of resources, you committed a lot of deck slots to playing them, and then you just immediately get them all back. And then further turns just means you get excess resources. Whereas this one is like you need to have my survive multiple turns, and then you're just kind of relying on canceling, which doesn't really do very consistently.
Yeah. And here we have another card. We have the 3/2 Sakuta. This one also goes with 3/2 Mai. It's an on-play ditch 1 heal stock, gain 3k. And then at end of attack, if you have this Mai on board, you can pay 3 ditch 1, burn 4. So this is supposed to be your finisher line if you play this card.
Yep.
Which is like, it's there.
It's there.
Memory kick back up. Did they have a memory kick backup yet? No, right?
Is this not the clock kick backup?
Oh, this is the clock kick one. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
My bad. No, memory kick is
memory kick is set 1, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one's a clock kick backup. So it's 2,500 power instead of 3k, but you can remove your opponent's character to clock
Wait,
instead.
this is 25?
Yes, 25.
Oh, that's so tragic.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not a 3k backup like memory kick.
Yeah.
We have 3/2 Nodoka. This is a card that I've tried a little bit to make work. I think it's actually best.
I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird card.
It goes with the standby, right?
Yeah, so this is a climax combo with standby. If the climax is in the standby, if the standby climax is in the climax area, it gives everything 15, including yourself. And then at the beginning of your encore step, if this card's in front row, which is the worst line of text on the card, has to be in the front row.
Yeah.
And your opponent's entire front row is either dead or there's nothing there, then you can pay 2, burn 2.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the fact that that second line of tag is not tied to a climax combo. But like you said,
Needing to be in front row means that you can't just like stand by this out to the back row, gain the 1500 buff on the front, and then use the burn effect at the end of that turn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Goes well with the Futaba bodyguard though.
Yeah, for sure. Futaba Bodyguard has her own problems in the current format though.
Yeah.
Like everyone's playing like Bouncer to like not get owned by Shauna, and so it's just like, oh, Bodyguard and gone. Okay, so here's the Sakuta that goes with the 3/2 Mai. So it's a 2k front, and I just rereading it again. Okay, yeah, so at the beginning of the climax phase, if there are... How does this get markers again? Oh, it's the last effect. So during... Oh, right, Jesus. So during opponent's attack phase, if you cancel incoming damage, and you have Mai on board, and you have 2 or less total markers underneath all your cards, you can marker a card from waiting room. And then if he has 3 or more markers, you can sack all the markers at beginning of climax phase to do a whole 1 damage.
Huge?
A huge 1 damage to your opponent. So
It's there.
So the idea is you're supposed to triple surveil with this in order to cancel, which gets you markers, and then you use the markers for a burn 1.
It's there.
It's there. Good old trusty on play 15, on attack 15. Oh, these go over here. Wait, what? What was this one? Oh, I don't remember this one. So this is it gives your character... Wait, what? Wait. This is supposed to be a memory kick backup. This is when the opponent's battle opponent becomes rest. Wait, what? I saw the rest symbol and I was like, wait, what is this? I was like, yeah, I got really confused. That's supposed to be a reverse symbol.
Yeah, this is I don't know if the camera can pick, but like, yeah, this card says when your opponent's battle character becomes rested. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to entertain the idea, how would that work?
This card's unplayable because they rest already before trigger step. So
Okay,
like,
but what if?
they get reversed and use an ability.
Okay, no. So zombie Sayaka.
Okay, what? Okay, dude.
Oh,
sure,
yeah,
sure.
so zombie Sayaka.
Uh-huh.
So they're okay. Never mind.
Yeah, I was like, why have I never seen this? I see this rest symbol. I'm like, what the heck is this? And then
Bunny
I
Girl has
realized,
a tap counter.
and then I realized it's just
was-
just
yeah,
memory
okay.
kick backup. Okay, XD.
Uh,
New anti-change backup. So this one has the like more standard cost of like pay 2 sack 1. They do already have a ditch 2 anti-change from set 2. So now you have the option between these. Oh, this is a really good event. So this is a 2-1 event. You put it in memory, you salvage 2 Mai's, discard a card, and then after the discard, if you have 6 or more door triggers in your waiting room, you can pay 1. If you do, you free fresh, and then you draw 1, discard 1. Very interesting effect. And I really especially like the draw 1, discard 1 at the end, because it means that if in your fresh deck you trigger a door climax, you actually have something that you can salvage. So just an overall really good card. This is one that you definitely want to be running in like the meta deck with the My Level 3. And I like to run it at 4 copies. I don't know if you've ever like taken a look at the
I think 4 is good. Like you salvaging 2 Mai's, being able to help your memory out. It's all good stuff.
And for our rare, we have a 1/1 Kaede. This one goes into the Kaede deck with her 1/1 event and her 3/2 early play.
So a decent amount of cards in this volume are dedicated towards just the cover girls of the 2 separate movies. So you have a lot of Backpack Kids. Backpack Kid has her own set of cards and combos, and then you have Kaede, and Kaede got her own set of level 1 and level 3 combos, and as well as a lot of supporting pieces to go around those.
Yeah. So this Mai can pay 1, send herself to memory standing if you're at level 2 or higher in order to top check to add 1. So it's a pretty nice way to generate a memory and also maybe like dig for a climax. Just a really important card overall. Also, she has this like bonus effect where like if you trigger door, you just get to give 2 characters 1k. Sometimes useful. Oh, OFR.
Nice.
So this is the 3/2 combo. That
It
goes.
was a card that we were looking for to pull anyways.
Yeah, so this is the 3/2 combo. On play heal. This 3/2 says on play you can draw 2, ditch 1, and then at the start of climax phase you can bounce her back to hand to change into this from your hand, and that will allows you to get basically 2 on play effects off the same card. You just need to have both pieces though.
Yeah, for practical purposes, the draw 2 discard 1 is the effect that we really care about.
To increase hand size.
To increase hand size, because like we mentioned earlier, the climax combo effect is on attack pay 5. Discard 5
Ditch
to
5, yeah.
burn 2 and then burn 5. So it's very aggressive, but the cost is extremely, almost prohibitively so expensive. So that's why in any Knapsack Kid deck we do want to run copies of the level 0 that can potentially become 2 hand size for this. And while we also do need to run the 3/2 that has on-play cantrips so that we actually have enough hand, and it's really nice that we can bounce her back and then just play the 3/2 afterwards.
Okay, so yeah, there's OFR is pretty nice. I also like that they are still using cards with like the light novel art in the set. So very nice. Okay, so these ones are uncommon and rare. Moving right along with our pack. So we have this level 2 killer for the Kaede deck. And our rare is a 2/1 assist. So this one is a front level assist. When you play her while you already have 4 or more other characters, you get to refund the stock with a stock from your waiting room. And then when your character triggers a door and you have 2 or more unique names in memory, you get to top check the top card of your opponent's deck. You can either leave it on top or put it on bottom, and then give a character 15. So top checking the top card of your opponent's deck is really important for your level 3 combo, because the level 3 combo is wanting to mill climaxes off the bottom. So if you top check your opponent's deck and you see a climax, not only are they not getting that climax for the current attack, but you're also just screwing them over for when you eventually get to the next attack. So really, really strong card. I think this one's a 2-soul combo. Not 100% sure. I forget. Okay, here we have a Clock Yourself Top X. Pretty handy card, and she also gets +1 soul in center, so she can be a sneaky little 2-soul attacker. And we also have a bunch of legacy support in the set. So this is, I think, the first one that we've seen so far.
Yeah, so that one is the legacy support for the level 1 Koga double combo from set 1, am I correct?
Yeah, the double bounce back.
Right. So if you guys recall, the level 1 bounce back combo from set 1, I believe is when she gets front attack, you can bounce herself and another one of your other characters. So this Koga support allows you to not only get into the 1-0 with more consistency, but also recycle those 1-0 combos into just actual cards in your waiting room.
Yeah, because this card's third effect... Well, first of all, the second effect says you can rest this to give a copy of that level 1 combo 2500 power 1 soul, which is like really big, obviously. Allows you to easily get the reverse. And then the third effect is you can discard a copy of the level 1 combos, like after you've bounced it back to your hand, and rest this card, and then you can salvage any character.
Yeah, so it just solves the issue that combo had with you have hand advantage, but they're all just the same cards.
Yeah. What is really nice about this card, though, is something that I've done in my testing with the book deck. So back in set 1, typically you would use the combo to bounce back Sakuta, level 1, so you can get more stock.
Yeah.
But what I do sometimes in my testing is I will actually, especially if I hit level 1 first, I will frontline this, and then I will reverse with the combo, and then when they attack me, attack my combo, I will bounce back the combo plus this, so that I can play this back down, get another copy of the combo, and then go for a double combo on the next turn.
Right.
So it just allows you to like kind of proliferate
Yeah.
how many copies that you are getting. Okay, let's keep going. This combo, have you taken a look at this combo?
I have.
So I feel like if this card didn't need to get level 1 or higher cards, it would just be like a lot more playable.
It would be considered, considerable.
Yeah. So this card's effect is Climax combo. When you play a Climax, you give two characters 1k, and then the Climax combo says you choose one of your other characters and give it on cancel, top check 4, add 2 level 1 or higher cards, and then put the rest in a waiting room. So I'm trying to think if I would prefer if it was like, if I would rather make it like some other condition other than like on cancel, or if I would rather have it be like 2 level 1 or 2 like just traded characters.
Yeah, I think if it's 2 traded characters, then I might consider it. But I think the on cancel is probably the worst part about it. Either way.
Yeah.
But having both on cancel and also only being able to get level 1 higher is just a bit too niche.
Yeah, it is nice though that like in theory you are able to like play multiple copies of this.
Yeah.
And then if like somewhere along the line you cancel, then it's like, oh, I can get.
Yeah.
I can
And
get
the reason why it adds level 1, I presume, is because the Knapsack Kid itself does run events. So you want to you want to add events.
Okay, so this card's pretty interesting. So this one is a like coin flip type profile where when this gets reversed, you reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a 2 or higher, you can rest this. And then it has a memory effect, or a recollection, I guess, if like some people know it as that, but it has like an effect if you have a card in memory. At the start of your climax phase, you can choose an adolescence character and give it 3k power. So the reason I think this card is interesting, and the reason why I tried playing it in one of my decks, is because that second effect to buff actually works from anywhere on board. So you can actually just like stick this card in your back row, and you can give 3k buffs. And what deck was I originally playing this in? I'm not 100% sure what deck I was playing it in, but I was definitely trying this at one point. And it was pretty good being able to just like stick this as a second back row alongside like a brainstorm or something,
Right.
Or use it as a frontline profile,
when you need. Yeah.
And so for our third foil of the box, we have the 1/1 Kaede. This is basically like the Glinda 1/1 hand encore. Gains power every time another character attacks.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you're being in a blue Nina 1/1 infested meta, plop one of these Kaedes down and she'll kill one every turn.
3/2 Uzuki, mostly played for her on play effect. Pay 1, salvage climax. This is Nodoka legacy support. So for the 3/2 Nodoka from set 2, which was the give herself and one other Musashi. So this card says, on play you can discard an adolescence character to search your deck for a copy of that 3/2 Nodoka. And then also, all of your copies of that Nodoka get 1k power and on attack top check 2 rearrange. And so this is pretty good for allowing you to rig the top card of your deck to get higher levels on the Musashi. And then the kind of weird part about this card is that when you're playing like a Musashi profile, you kind of want to be forcing as much base damage down your opponent's throat as possible. So like if you see like a 3 and a 0, it's like, do you want to force a 4 as my damage, or do I want to force a 4 on the burn if my damage cancels, but the base damage is only 3?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a little bit of a catch-22 situation if you see that sort of thing. That's kind of been my experience.
Yeah. I think, obviously it'll depend on the case-by-case situation, but I feel like, especially if you have multiple Nokas, you can just put the non-trigger on your attack, and then if the 3 sticks, then your next Noka will just still have that trigger that you can just rig. You can maybe put that into the second card, and then there's probably a significantly lower chance that they don't cancel the next Noka swing,
Right.
and then you can just go 4 from that. So
Yeah. You know,
it's always good to have choice.
thinking back now, after having tested this card with the 3/2 Noka, and then seeing Eurocamp, Eurocamp is like, man.
Yeah.
All right. Level 0 Stock Bomb. And on play, or when this attacks, you can top check, top or mill.
I think all of the double timing effects that they've been printing in recent year or two, it's always...
Oh, like on play and on attack, or on play, on death.
Yeah, or like the Mayans, on death or end of attack,
Oh, yeah,
things
yeah.
like that.
This is a very, very funny card. So this is a 2/1 Uzuki. When this attacks, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is an Adolescence character, all of your characters get 3k2 soul until end of turn.
This is like the 2/1 Himeno, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, the 2/1 Himeno, I believe, was 4k1.
And
this is 3k, and this is 3k2. Well, the Himeno was like 5/5 base though. She goes
whatever.
She goes like 9/5, and then this one goes up to only 5/5, but like everything gets 2
this
soul.
card just chooses violence, so it's fine.
Okay, this is our first double R.
I think so.
We pulled all of our foils. Alright, so our first double R is the 3/2 Kaede. So this one has an experience requirement of needing both the 1/1 level assist and the specific 1/1 event in your level zone. And her climax combo is kind of like Ichika from Quince, or like Hifumi from Blue Archive. This one activates when the climax is placed on the climax area. If this is in the front row, you can search your deck for up to 3 characters. You put 1 into your hand, 1 into stock, and send the last one to waiting room. And then this gets 3k power until end of turn. Or you can just burn 2 to your opponent for free. So the big thing about this card is that the early play condition is like significantly more restrictive to achieve compared to either of the other two, I would argue, the Ichika or the Hifumi. I would say between the 3, I would put the Ichika at the top in terms of overall package, due to just needing to clock the 0, and then the Hifumi after that, and then this one. Needing to, I think the most restrictive part is definitely needing to just have like 3 copies of this in your deck in order to consistently have it in level and also have it on your board, because you also want to have this on the board.
Yeah. It does, the package does try to make things a bit easier on you. For example, the support does turn your event into being something that you can salvage off of choice. The event itself also allows...
No. Choice needs to salvage a soul trigger. This makes it 1 cost.
But wasn't there a card that lets you salvage the 1/1 event? Or am I crazy?
No.
Okay.
I mean, like, this gives it a soul trigger.
Okay.
It gives it a soul trigger, but that doesn't make it salvageable.
Okay. I might have been misremembering.
Yeah, because choice needs to salvage a character.
Right. But the other thing that is really nice, if you have the event, you can level swap when you play the event.
Right.
Which does help you if you hit level 2 and you're missing one of the experience in your level, then you can just swap into the proper experience. But
then like the problem with that is this is a search combo, so ideally you would like to be in second deck, and you probably don't have a lot of.
Again, I mean, like the cards are
theoretically.
Yeah, there is some fail safe, but like you said, yes, this is kind of
a lot of hoops.
Yeah.
It is nice though that this combo, if it manages to survive if you manage to put it on the board at level 2 and then manages to survive, it can pivot into being a finisher combo as well with a free burn 2, unlike most burn 2 combos, which are like pay 1, ditch 1 usually.
Yeah,
around there.
I think like pay 2 or something.
Yeah,
I think top is pay 2, but something like this, if we compare it to something else in the same set like that, my early play is the payoff is definitely a lot more worth it
compared to this one.
Compared to and it's worth trying out for sure.
And the like, what's the phrase? The like push climax combination is the level 1 Kaede that we haven't seen yet, alongside this. And then
the design is to be the level 1 Kaede combo.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Wait, isn't that what I said?
Didn't you say Koga?
No,
Oh wait,
Kaede.
am I crazy? Okay, yeah, sorry.
yeah,
No,
the level 1 Kaede with this.
Yeah, so 8 choice. Mhm.
And then apart from that, it is also been tested like playing the level 1 Gold Bar Koga combo alongside this. That one has also seen some pretty good use. I think a big reason for that is the level 1 green event, which is all the way back from set 1, if I remember correctly, where it's a Futaba event. You can sack a character on stage, you search your deck for a climax, and that just gives you easy access to the climax to continue looping the level 3 choice combo. So you've been looking at this card.
Yeah, so like the aforementioned event that Knapsack Kid wants to run is this 2/2 Sakuta event. You can only play this card if you have a Knapsack Kid on stage. So basically this disqualifies basically all other decks from playing this event just because 1, it's green, and 2, Knapsack Kid cards are not generically good. So you generally wouldn't want to run it. But in the Knapsack level 1 climax combo deck, for example, where you always basically have her because her level 1 combo sends herself to memory, comes back next turn. The cost to play the Sakuta event is not there, and it's actually a very resource efficient finisher. This is a 2/2 event that just sends itself to memory, but then if this card is face up in memory at the beginning of your draw phase, you can flip it face down and then you just burn 2. So if you want to just go into a turn where you think you are trying to push a bit more damage, or if it's just your final turn, you kind of think it as like something that you paid for in advance. You do have to pay for this card at least 1 turn before you actually want to use it, because it activates at the start of your draw phase. But for 1 card to stock burn 2, it's pretty decent.
Here we have the second art for the My 2-1 event.
Yeah, this is just their nice memories.
Here we have what is, in my opinion, a pretty underrated card. It sees like fringe play here and there. So this is a level 0 Kaede. On attack, can give 15 anywhere, including to herself. When she reverses a battle opponent, if you don't have any back row, you can look at up to top 2, and if you see a level 0 or lower character there, you can put it on your back row. So kind of like, what was his name? From Dengeki Bunko? Anos, yeah. Except Anos was just like 3-5 for fun. Like,
yeah.
That dude's just huge. Okay. Where are my double rares? Here we have a Lifa backup. So when they use this backup, you reveal top card. If it's a character or the 1/1 event for the Kaede deck, you add it to your hand, discard a card. And this is a... Wait, what was this? Oh, this is a legacy support for the 1/0 Shoko combo from set 2, I think.
Yep.
And so this is, you can pay 1 sack this to bring out that Shoko, give it 2500 on reverse memory kick. Optional memory kick. Interesting. Okay, next rare is another Knapsack Kid package, or like, it can technically work in non-Knapsack Kid decks.
But it's
probably...
frankly fairly necessary for the Knapsack Kid deck, especially if you want to go into full Knapsack Kid. The level 1 combo is Pants, and then the level 3 combo is Gold Bar, so like that is a climax lineup of nightmares.
Yeah, so this card says when you trigger climax, you can discard a climax to draw 1, ditch 1, salvage 1.
Which is
a lot
good.
A lot of filter. So much filter.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, here we have pay 1 sack, top 4, but it also has on-play stun. So if you really, really hate Nino, then you're going to want to play this card. And even if you don't really, really hate Nino, you probably still can just like slot this card into most decks generically.
Yeah, it's fine. It's an easy way to pay out climax, get some deck speed.
Okay, our next double R, the 1/0 for the Knapsack Kid.
This is just
deck.
like a Knapsack Kid box.
Yeah, so this is a 1/0/3/5 during your turn plus 3k, and then at the end of attack, if you have 2 or more other characters, you can you basically like Akatsuki for 1. So like you just look at the top card of your deck. If it's a character or an event, you get to add it to your hand. If not, it goes to waiting room. And then you also have the option to time machine this, send this to memory.
Yeah.
And then at the start of your next turn, this comes back.
Yeah, I think this combo is actually quite good. I'm a big fan of the guaranteed +1 and then the incidental +2 being the top check. As long as you have a way to actually sculpt for your hand quality. So that's something like the 1/1 can do, for example. But this being always 6/5 no matter what, 7/5 with a climax combo. It's a good, reliable way to get some advantage.
Yeah,
so
I would say like the card that people would most readily compare this to is Shaltir from
Yep.
Nazarick. But the big difference between the two, and the reason that this card only gets to just like top check, add to hand, where Shaltir gets to salvage, is that this doesn't actually have to kill anything.
Correct. It can get reversed.
And it's just like, see you next turn.
Because it's just at the end of its attack. So there is no interaction with this card compared to Shaltir, where like you can maybe you're playing Chainsaw Man, you play 3 Kishi base, and then your opponent's Shaltirs are just like, okay, I guess I do nothing.
Yeah.
Knapsack Kid doesn't actually care about what any like the state of your opponent's board doesn't matter at all for its blessing, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the very underrated part about this card for sure. She's just like, I'll see you in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So here's the Dream Left Behind. This is Kaede's event. So you salvage a character, and then you may level swap.
Yeah.
That's like just the base effect. The 1/1 Kaede assist that we saw earlier turns it into a 1/0 event, just like how Ainz in Nazarick turns the Black Goats into a 1-cost event. So that's really handy. And then additionally, the 1/1 gives it a soul trigger. So if you happen to trigger it, extra damage. Does not allow you to salvage it off choice, unfortunately. That would be really cool. And then this card's last effect is experience if this card is in your level zone and you have
The 1/1
the 1/1
and the
3/2 and itself.
So you're at level 3 with those three. All
with those
put together.
three all in your level. You at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you can pay for put this into memory and then put a character from your waiting room into level, which means you can never do more than one of this. You -3 slip.
Oh, well, if you next turn play a 1/1 event and you swap into another 1/1.
Okay, sure.
Okay, I mean, we're in fairy tale land. It is possible.
It is definitely possible. But realistically, you are getting at most one of this per game. Realistically, I feel like most games you're not even getting one of this. I feel like you want to just have all your Kaedes on the board, and the fourth one you just like forget
I mean,
about it.
that second paragraph of text is kind of just bonus.
I mean, a 1/0 salvage event is already like pretty solid.
Yeah, it's good.
Perfectly solid. Ooh, okay. Honestly, this is one of my favorite cards of the set. Even though it's like level 1 clean cut, that's like kind of weird, champ, right? Like nobody really plays level 1 clean cut. But the reason I really like this is because it's green and goes with the level 1 Koga combo. So level 1 Koga is it's kind of like John from Ruby, where when you play the climax, you assign like an Omniverse effect to something. And so you're able to like backline that. And so using the Sakuta, which is on the same color as like a card that gains power, gains 1k every time your other character attacks, you can leverage all of the power and all the reverses onto this card, and you get your one reverse, and it's like, okay, clean cut, search, or like something.
So
Like
this
that.
could just be like Sakuta Koga, and this card attacks for like 10-5 clean cut on reverse search 2 or something.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of this card in that deck.
Yeah.
Here we have Rem.
As an uncommon.
Rem.
Look at her.
Yep.
Or rare.
It's rare. Yeah.
So inspirational.
Yeah.
Look at her.
And then isn't this the same voice actress? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's the same voice actress. So Rem early play from the original ReZero was a 2 or less early play, heal, on reverse, marker from waiting room, gain 1k per marker. This is a 4 or more early play, heal, on reverse, get a marker, gain 1k per marker. So almost the exact same card, 500 less power for a better early play condition.
Too bad this set has insane healers already.
Something Kaede. Kaede from set 1.
Also for my decks, like blue is kind of just not a easy color to. Or you can definitely fit blue, but like the Kaede healer is just better.
Isn't it kind of insane that we're still comparing like some cards that came out in the year like 2024 to Kaede? Like
sometimes they just come out with cards that are ahead of their time.
Yeah.
You know, we have a lot of like old events that are just literally banned in the JP format, and we have cards that we jokingly or maybe not jokingly say were printed above their time, like Blast Shot Shinon.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is just another case of set 1 Sakuta Sock Charge combo, set 1 Kaede early play healer. These are cards that are just irreplaceable in terms of the function they provide.
Yeah, it was pretty funny because like when like the recent Marvel set reveals were happening and people saw the Captain America early play and they were like, oh, this is Kaede but worse. It's literally just worse. Okay. A nice new 2/2 for Standby. Something that you can definitely run alongside the 2/2 11k Koga that we saw in set 1. This one is a 9/5 hand encore, and then during your turn global 1k. So this can serve as a nice global 1k assist that really helps out that 1-0 Kaede from set 1 that needs to get a reverse to salvage. So I'm a big fan of this.
It's kind of like a cross between 2-2 Eris and 2-2 Galing.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
It has both.
Okay, we have like a 1-0 with choice. You get to like top check, or you reveal top, and if it's a level 1 or higher, you trigger twice. So it's kind of like top check for a level 1 or higher to send to stock, but you get 2 triggers.
Yeah.
And here we have one of the new memory cards, which is a clock swap when this gets reversed and goes to memory.
I wonder if there's any implication to the way they word this compared to just top check level 1 or higher sent to stock.
I think it's just because they
Compared to
want.
trigger twice.
I think it's just they want to incentivize you to trigger more. Because we've also seen this.
I guess because there's like the 1-0, because there's like a lot of characters with soul triggers that are level 1 in this, like the yellow Mai package.
Yeah.
So they just want you to actually just get more soul.
Maybe they just want you to hit them. But like this isn't the first time that they've worded it like this either.
Yeah.
Because we also had it in the Geki Bunko on the 1-0 Kuriyuki Hime double R. Hers is also
that's
hers
true.
is also a double trigger rather than a send to stock. Alright. For this card was like pretty important, right? This is a drop search, and then it has a on play. You can stun a higher level character, so this is like a utility piece for current format if you're playing against standby a lot. And for our last double rare, here we have the Koga I was talking about earlier. Definitely one of my favorite combos of the set. So when you play a climax, you can give 1k anywhere, and then you can give on reverse search anywhere, and that can include herself, unlike John.
Yeah.
So really, really nice.
Yeah. So I think like initially when we first saw this card in JP, I think like it's definitely a good set of effects, and it's very comparable to John. But like basically, there's pros and cons of their timings, and then like the one con of Kaede of Koga's timing is that like if your opponent has just like a runner, then you just can't get reverses.
Yeah.
Because you do have to assign all your reverses when you play the climax, and then when you go into attack phase, and then your opponent can move positions on stage based on where you put the reverses. So
Yeah, that's just that. It's like the trade-off between giving search on reverse versus giving search on attack with like a Korone combo.
Exactly.
So Korone combo is really good against runners because you assign them after your opponent has decided to run. But comparatively, this one's actually really good against JC effects because you can stack all of the reverses on one dude, and then you like reverse their JC, and then you just attack the other lanes, and you've already gotten your searches, things like that. But yeah, and then as I said earlier, I'm a really big fan of these two cards in combination. It's level 1 Blink, and then also on play you can clock yourself from hand to top check 5 at a character.
It's one of Aobuta has a good amount of these clock self cost stockless search options, and that's one of my favorites for sure.
So I believe this is the 0 you need to send to memory for sentiments to convey. Yeah, so this is the 0. So this bonds to this on play. And then on play you can pay 1, discard 1 to choose a card and clock, return. That effect is like no cost on like other cards.
Like the level of Sora and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. But
being a guy is tough.
But yeah, you send this to memory for the 2-0 event in order to bring out the 3-2 Mai. Oh, and then here for our last rare, we have the 1-0 Kaede combo that is intended to be played alongside 3-2 Kaede. So this is gains 1,000 for each of your back row. And then on attack, you top check 4, add 1. You can either add an Adolescence character or a copy of the 1-1 event.
Yeah.
So I remember when this card first got revealed, there were some like JP people on Twitter. They were just like, "Why is this card just like 6k for fun?" And also gets to be a top check 4, add 1 combo because like we were like basically just getting out of like the like we were just getting out of like 5,500 top check 4, add 1s, and this one just comes out and it's like, oh, it's 6k.
Yeah.
So we have pulled all of our pieces for the Kaede combo in our first box, and we have pulled like no Mai.
We're done with Knapsack Kid and Kaede both in like one box.
Yeah.
And then next box is gonna be all mine, right?
Yep. And then as we were saying earlier, so like this is like the intended combination, but we have also seen Koga Kaede see a bit of play. All right, so let's get into our second box. All right, here we go, second box. Let's pull some Mai Senpai. For our box topper, we have a going first Kaede. This is from the level 2 killer.
This is also probably like my favorite art from one of my favorite promotional arts for the advertisement of this set of films.
Yeah, I especially like the reflection in the puddle, how it reflects like her former self. That's like definitely the
because like that the whole point of that movie and like Kaede's like and like existential crisis is like it's like who is she, you know, and like trying like because like she knows that this Kaede, you know, was
She
here.
was there, yeah. Oh, all right, cool. This is definitely one of the more important double Rs. So this is the Kaede Brainstorm. I definitely pogged a lot everywhere when this card got revealed.
Calm down.
I was literally like 2 sets of Bunny Girl, and I was just like, please, I need a top self-salvage Brainstorm, bro. Like, oh, they printed a blue Search Brainstorm in set 1, and then in set 2 we have a red one. And I'm like, oh, this is South. Nope, it's Search again. It's just like, please give me top self-salvage.
You say top salvage brainstorm, but I don't think we even have a top two salvage brainstorm. We just didn't have salvage brainstorm.
We didn't have a salvage brainstorm.
We had salvage discard.
Yeah, we didn't have a plussing salvage
We
brainstorm.
had no plussing salvage brainstorm until now.
And then this card came out. Literally, like the moment this card came out, I was just like, yes, yeah. People were tagging me everywhere. They were like, Randall, finally, top salvage brainstorm. And I remember in Dengeki Bunko, I was like, please give Aobuta tap salvage brainstorm, and we got nothing. We got like basically nothing.
Yeah.
And
there you go.
we finally have it. And the card's second effect is really good too. When you trigger a climax, you get to top check, top or mill, and give 1k. This in combination with the 2/1 Mai for the Mai deck is really, really funny because you trigger one climax and it's like, all right, I'm going to top check my deck and your deck and give 1k and give 15. And it's like, yeah, a lot of stuff's happening. I love this card. Okay, and we have the Kaede level 1 combo. Alright. Oh, 2/1 bouncer, and then yeah, you sack this to bounce, and then on play you give a character pay 1 twin drive.
Yeah, pretty good card.
3/2 Mai. Some of the other effects we see on card like this are like what? Ditch salvage.
Give 1 soul.
Give one soul, yeah. Those are like the two most common, I would say, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
I think we've also seen recently like Ditch Akatsuki in some set. I just forget which set. Like Ditch top 4 add 1.
I think like some order sets might have like given power, tap itself get power or something. But they generally designed the sack self bounce effects to also just have a second effect that you can use on the same turn, which just makes it really nice. It's kind of like an event in a sense.
Yeah, kind of. But it's searchable.
But it's searchable.
All right, here we have our 1/1 rest memory counter.
And that is indeed still a rest symbol.
Yeah,
so.
the first thing I saw when we pulled this is like, all right, is the foil also wrong? The foil's also wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. A couple Nodokas. Another Kaede bomb. Ooh, okay. Next double R, level 0 Shoko. This card just has so much text for no reason. So this is a helmet, and then helmet effect, for those of you unfamiliar, you can sack this, discard a card, and salvage any character from your waiting room. So just a very nice effect, especially if you have like a ton of cards in hand. And during your opponent's turn, if you have 4 or more hand, this gets +1 level and +15, and it's a chaser. So it's a 3k level 1 chaser. That's also a helmet.
This is for fun.
Literally for fun. Also, why is this like 4 or more hand?
And not 5.
And then not 5 or more? Like, I'm pretty sure Hekate from Shana was 5 or more hand.
I think like Goblin Slayer was like 5 or more hand or something.
Well, okay, that's constant power, though.
Okay,
this is only during opponent's turn. But like that's when it matters more. You just want this to live. So really, really good card. Really, really good blue splash if you're looking for it. This is the 2/1 Mai. So when this attacks, this gains a ton of power. 1,500 for each of your opponent's characters. And then you can send this standing card to memory to search your deck for either the level 1 or level 3 Mai door combos from this set. So just a really good card overall. And then in addition, this card also has like 2 soul for some reason. So if you do decide to use this as an attacker to swing at your opponent's board, kill their really high power character, then you also have a 2 soul attacker. And here's another piece of legacy support. This one supports the 3/2 restand combo from, oh god, I think it's set 2. You remember what set it is? Yeah, is it set 1?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a set 1 restand combo on pants. And so this is a level assist. And you can sack it to move one of your opponent's characters to an open slot. You can do this just regardless of whether or not you have the 3/2 Futaba. But if you do have a Futaba, you can give it 3,500 power and on attack ditch 2, burn 1. And so
if you just have so much hand, you just don't know what to do with all this hand.
yeah, you go
You can
on attack.
pay 3, discard 1.
Well, it's on attack, ditch
on
2.
attack, discard 2, burn
Burn
1. At the end of attack, pay 3, discard 1, restand.
Well, it's on reverse.
Oh, it's on reverse?
That's what.
Okay,
like,
okay.
That's why you need to like
That's
move
fair.
with this.
Okay. On reverse, pay 3, discard 1, restand, and then do it again. And you on attack, you can pay a cost again. Discard 2, burn 1.
Yeah, this is the price that we need to pay in the year 2020,
For Marika.
2024 to be Marika.
Yeah.
Yep. Climax combo, by the way. Alright. 1-0 Goga.
Oh, that card's a rare.
It's rare, yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, the 2 one's also rare.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought they were just like bulk cards.
Yeah, these are both rares. Yeah. I mean, you can play this card even in a deck that doesn't have the Futaba level
Yeah,
3.
that's fair.
You just move their stuff.
Yeah.
So in a sense, it's kind of like Toa from Hololive.
That's true. That's true.
3-2 Mai.
My son.
Can I pull the other Mai combo, please?
Can we pull any mice?
Can we pull any Mai's, please? Can I pull one Ricky, one combo, please?
Commentators in chat. Knapsack Kid. No. Adult, grown Mai. Well, not adult.
Okay.
High school Mai.
Foil, 1-1 Kaede. Holy moly, this card's name is like omega long. Embracing the sentiments of two people. Kaede Azusagawa.
Yeah,
Very long name.
That's her.
I really like this foil pattern though. Like the fish scales. It's not anything new, but it's just one of my favorite foil patterns. Pulling a lot of repeat rares too. Okay. Oh, okay. There we go.
Yay.
3-2 Mai. All right. So this is the like premier finisher of the set. On play heal, and then so this card's climax combo. Optimally, you would have 4 or more unique names in memory, but if you have 3 or less, it's still usable. So this card says on attack, if you have the door climax in the climax area, which is this one. Here we go, right here. The kiss between the two. If you have this door climax in the climax area and you have 5 or less cards in your hand, I've definitely seen people completely thrill the game by having 6 or more cards in their hand, or they had 5 cards in hand and then they attacked and then they triggered a door and then they salvaged mindlessly and then it's like, yeah, you can't combo anymore. Like, so you need to have 5 or less cards in your hand. Don't mess that up. And you need 3 or more other characters. You may pay 1, discard a character. If you do, your opponent mills the bottom 2 cards of their deck X times. And then if there is a climax within those 2 cards, you deal 2 damage to your opponent. If you have 3 or less unique names in memory, you do it twice, and then if you have 4 or more unique names, you do it 3 times. And so obviously you're going to optimally be looking to do it 3 times. This requires you to have 4 or more memory, which is effectively a 3 stock investment, assuming one of them is Ricky, because Ricky goes to memory for free. And then you need 7 stock for this. So it's like a 10 stock, maybe 11 investment over the entire game in order to make triple my work, like completely, like full combo. And so for that reason, it's really important to play cards that can generate you extra stock, such as the Sakuta level 1, or in like late 2024's case for Japan, they were playing the level 0 Futaba support from set 2. And not only do you need the like 10, 11 stock in order to just make the entire combo play work, but you also are going to want stock for things like brainstorms, things like that. So overall, it's just like one really big puzzle on how you can get all the stock and make everything work. And also, this art is just so pretty. All right. So we still have 1 foil. Surely we can just pull a ABR of this.
Surely.
In the same box. This is a fresh case, by the way.
It should be random.
Okay. Zero Mai. All right, 2 packs left. Come on, 1 more foil. 1 more foil, please. All right, 1, 2. All right, non-foil. So that means it should be in the last one.
Yeah, that also means that this was another 3
double R box. Yeah.
You can do it, Randall.
All right, easiest Mai. Hey, Mike, can I buy this pack? All right, here we go. All right. All right. It is a foil. I think it's a climax. Triple R Kaede level 1? This is Kaede level 1, right? Concealed emotions.
Is it level 1 or is it level 3? I don't know what they look like.
Concealed emotions.
Oh,
So this
there you
is
go.
triple R of the Kaede level 1 climax.
Very cute.
So not the ABR we were looking for, but
Simply pull it.
Yeah.
It's that easy, right?
yeah. And then just a few more cards, a few more repeats. Okay, so that's going to do it for our second box. We do have still a few more double Rs that we're going to want to show you guys, so we'll be right back with those. And yeah, here, enjoy this transition. Okay, so we're back, and we have the other 4 double Rs that we pulled. So let's go left to right on these. So we start with our missing yellow double R, the 3-2 Nodoka. So this is a 2 or less early play, and she gains 1,000 power for each of your back row characters. And her on-play ability, you have a choice between either healing, or you can force your opponent to mill 10, and then gain 3, and this gains 3k power. So this is a card that can kind of be like sort of, but not really, like Fumio stock swap, sort of like mess with your opponent's deck sort of profile, while also doubling just as like a normal 10-5 early play heal. I do sometimes see this played in the Mai deck. I feel like in theory, the Mai deck shouldn't really have to play this card because you can just use the combo to mill the opponent's deck. But I have run into situations where I wish I had this card because the opponent's deck was so compressed that I was milling climaxes and they were still canceling burns. So, like, do you have any thoughts on this particular card?
I really like this card. I feel like it does offer a lot of flexibility. I value the fact that you can use this at level 2 to potentially push more damage than if... Because I feel like in the mid-game, players generally don't have that many ways to decompress their opponent. It's usually probably during like the level 3 game or something like that, or on their final turn.
With like level 3 stock swaps, right?
Right, things like that, like Stock Wash, or Stock Swap, or like level 3 Fumios and stuff. But I appreciate the fact that Nodoka can essentially just mean if your opponent just made it so that they ended the turn with maybe like 3 and 5 or 3 and 6 or something like that.
And you're like, no.
You can just be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to force you to refresh, check that refresh ping, and then you're going to go into a much less compressed deck where I do have much better chance to stick my just regular 1 and 2 swings, and that damage leak can potentially put your opponent into a very tough spot, and then allows you to just transition into your my finisher or any finisher you want easier. So I like that card a lot.
Okay. And then obviously outside of like the Mai deck, this one arguably sees like a much more consistent play rate.
Because like the Mai deck, just based on the construction of the deck, you just don't really have that much room for early plays. And generally speaking, like the one slot people put into early play is just the Kaede early play from set 1, just because that is just the most no frills, easiest early play condition, and also costs potentially no stock to play.
And then on color,
yeah. So, but I think it's kind of just like a first world problem that Albuta has, the Nodoka early play, you have the Kaede early play, we have like the Shoko early play that's also pretty decent. So you have your pick of early plays in whatever colors you want and whatever functions you want. So.
So next we have the level 0 Mai Riki. This is definitely the double R to pull in the set for sure. This card can go in literally any deck, and it is a mandatory 4 of in the Mai level 3 build. So this card has the standard Riki ability of on play, pay 1, clock 1, search your deck for a level 1 or lower character. Just a fantastic ability for setting up all of your early to mid game pieces, things like level 1 combo, grab Brainstorm if you don't have it, things like that. Just overall fantastic card. And then also she has the effect at the end of this card's attack, or when this card becomes reversed in battle, if you have 1 or less cards in memory, you can send this card to memory. So Guilty Gear adjacent memory effect. Yeah, this card is just like super good.
It's just generically very solid. The failsafe of being able to send herself to memory has several really nice functions. Obviously, for the Mai build where she really needs to be in memory for your level 1 combo. You don't have to worry about your opponent like bottom deck or hard removing it. So you don't need to. You can dodge interaction like that. I think like very, very niche times and other builds that are just not the Mai build, you can potentially consider this as a way to kind of just sculpt board state. If your opponent is maybe playing like an armor reverse combo at level 3, and they are trying to engineer their own board to make you not be able to empty out your own board. Maybe they crash into your board the previous turn, and then they want to have your characters be alive for their next turn. Perhaps you can use this Maya, and then you can just attack with it, and you can send it stuff to memory, and maybe you can engineer a deck where you have like, okay, I'm going to attack with the Shoko Runner, the Mai, Riki.
This combination against the right deck is so obnoxious.
Yeah, and then you're just like, you play your cards right, and you can use these cards which are just generically good, and then you can just really make your opponent's life a living hell if they need reverses. So there is no downside to this card.
Yeah. Fantastic card. Definitely going to want typically 3, if not 4, in pretty much every deck.
Yeah, like Randall said, I think 4 up mandatory in the my build, and I think other builds. I think we do live in an era where we don't necessarily need to just auto run 4 Rikis anymore, but I think 3 is definitely where I would start testing. So yeah.
Yeah, and then this can also be sent to memory off that 1-0 twin drive that we saw earlier in the opening. Yeah. All right, here we have the level 1 Mai. So this card specifically needs the level 0 Mai Riki in memory in order to turn on her secondary effect. So when she attacks, if you have this in memory, then during that attack, this will get plus 3,000 power, and we'll do 2 trigger checks, and then the second trigger check will fall into the waiting room once the attack is, or once you have triggered both. So this is both a boon and a burden, depending on what position of the game you're at. Being able to trigger multiple times in a single attack can be really nice if you really want to trigger door climaxes to get extra hand advantage. It can be really good if you want to proc the effects of your back row, such as the Brainstorm or the 2-1 Mai level assist, because both of those have ways to manipulate the top cards of either player's deck when you trigger a climax. However, when you're in game states where you really just don't want to touch your deck much, but having this card as an attacker forces you to move your deck, it can really mess you up. I've definitely had turns where I've like triggered like 4 climaxes in one turn just because this was my attacker that I had to use.
Yeah, one wishes that this was just generic pay 1 on attack twin drive. It does give you more flexibility, but that's just how the card is designed.
And the climax combo itself is also really strong. On attack, you can just top 3, add one of them to your hand. It can be any card. It can be a climax. It can be an event like the 2-1. You don't even have to show your opponent. So you just top check 3, add 1, put the rest in the waiting room. Really strong effect. Flexible deck speed. You do need to be careful about how you count your deck when you take in that double trigger into account, though.
Yeah.
Because that will be 1 extra card per attack. And then, as we saw earlier on the 2-1, you can send that 2-1 to memory. You can search for either one of these 2 combos to add to your hand. So for that reason, you will want to be keeping track of how many of these are where at all times whenever you're playing the deck. It's a little bit of micromanage stuff that you need to kind of get used to. And our final card is a Climax Swap. That's also a Fukujiro for some reason. So this is an on-play, pay 1 Climax Swap from deck. And then also on death, Fukujiro, discard 1. Top check up to 4, add a level 1 or higher card. So that can include events. And then add it to your hand, send the rest to waiting room.
So now you, Alberta players do have the option of getting a Climax Swapper from deck or from waiting room. The waiting room Climax Swapper, I believe, is a
set 2
Kaede. So you have your options now, but it's really nice that, if you want one from deck, you can have one. You can actually even run both if you want. So.
Or I think more often than running both, I think I usually see players just run like 2 of this just because like
the second
having access to Fuka is like really good.
Exactly.
Yeah. So these are our double R's, and as always, we do have some shiny cards to show you guys as well before we end off the video. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these. So we have the Kaede level 0 right here. We have Nodoka level 3. Also, we have as long as we have the voice actresses back, we might as well give mention to them as well. So we have
that's all you.
So we have Yurika Kubo for Kaede. We have Maya Uchida for Nodoka.
Okay, so for people with reference, name one other famous character that these VAs have done. So
Yurika Kubo, I would say
Hanayo, right?
Hanayo from Love Live, I would say is the most popular example.
Yeah.
She's also done Loki in Danmachi, if I remember correctly.
What? That's her?
Yeah.
What? Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that's her.
I'm a fake fan.
And then Maya Uchida, she's done plenty of characters, ranging from I think her most memorable roles are like Chunibyo roles. She does like Rika from
Chunibyo ga
Chunibyo ga Koi ga Shitai, and then For those of you Genshin players out there, she does Fischl, another very notable Chunibyo, things like that. Although she's also done some pretty notable non-Chunibyo roles, like in Charlotte, she did both of the sisters, Yusamisa, and then also more recently in Bocchi the Rock, she actually plays the older sister Seika.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a role that like completely caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I had to like look it up and be like, wait, who?
Yeah. This is my turn.
All right, Atsumi Tanizaki.
She does Anya and Frieren.
Yep.
Okay, I'm done. that was my contribution to what we're doing here.
Yeah, there was definitely more than that though. She does like Murasaki in Grisaya Phantom Trigger on the JP side. Baseball cap guy in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And then here we have Inori Minase for Shoko. As we said earlier in the opening, she does Rem. Who else has she does notably lately? That she does Farina in Genshin, obviously, and then
is she in Quince?
yeah, she's Itsuki
Okay,
in Quince.
okay.
Yeah, so she does like plenty of characters as well. Literally all-star cast. Like let's be real. And then here we have our Knapsack Girl, which does have the Asami Seto signature.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not on the Mize. Who else does Asami Seto do in Weiss? Now I think about it.
In Weiss. That's a good
That's
question.
a good question.
I don't remember.
All right, if we find any, I'll put them in.
Yeah, I can
on
think
the
of
stream.
some other shows, but none of them are in Weiss, so yeah, I'll have to think about it.
Like the most common ones that you think of as like.
well, okay,
like
so like my favorite role of hers is not actually it's Chihaya,
Chihaya
from Chihaya Furu.
Yeah.
I think she's also pretty popular in Eminence in Shadows.
I haven't seen
I
it.
think so. But yeah, Mai and Chihaya are like my favorite roles from her, and obviously Chihaya's not in Weiss, so.
And then finally, we have the ABR that everyone is probably going to be looking for, even though it's not an Asami Seto here. It like as Mike said, it still looks so good. Like it has this like very pretty border. It has a Mai Sakurajima signature, so it's not just like the Aniplex like title stamp.
Yeah,
thing,
like
right?
they did make an effort to make this card look really good, and I was like, I'm honestly considering just keeping it because like I have my collection, so.
Yeah, and this signature looks really pretty. I'm just like trying to read it right now. Let's say like
I can read it.
oh, it's just like want to be with Sakuta until the end.
No, because this is what she says when she's graduating, because she's 1 year above Sakuta.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like this is the last day that I'll be together with you, Sakuta,
Oh, okay.
or like in school setting. So yeah.
Oh, I misread that one. Okay, yeah. So that's our level 3. Oh, sorry, not this one. This one's right here. So this is our level 3 my ABR.
So the SP that we don't have for you guys here today is Koga SP. We didn't pull.
And then the 2 ABRs we don't have are these two, the Kaede
Right.
and the level 0 Mai.
And this just comes SR. So I don't. Yeah, this card doesn't have one offer. So the highest rating that the level 1 combo comes is an SR.
Yeah. And then our ABRs, all 4 of the ABRs come
OFR.
OFR, right?
Yeah, so there's 7 OFRs. 4 of them are the ABRs, and then the other ones we have like the Kaede. I think we have like the Knapsack Kid.
The Kaede level 1.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
then Knapsack
The Knapsack
Kid
Kid
that we
level
pulled.
3 that we pulled.
And
the last one I don't quite remember.
We'll figure.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, so that is gonna do it for our Bunny Girl Senpai Set 3 opening for the 2 movies Sister Venturing Out and Knapsack Kid. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let us know if you guys have any decks that you are excited to potentially see for our upcoming gameplay block. We do already, for the most part, have like what decks that we're going to be playing figured out, but just let us know what you guys are excited to see, and then we will see if you guys were correct on your.
Don't worry, guys.
your
We have everything from the typical meta deck, and then we're gonna bring some spicy cooked builds
as usual.
So
All right.
yeah.
So stay tuned till then, until our next video, which is going to be our deck profile.
Correct.
This has been Randall, aka Shizukats.
And Mike, aka Mike.
And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.